Hello everyone, my name is Aastha. I welcome you all to our classes for International English Olympiad for class 10th. This is our 13th class in the series wherein we will be doing the topic of prepositions. So we will be understanding what prepositions really are, the various types of prepositions, when to use which preposition word or the phrase. So let's get started.
So what is our topic of the day? आज हम कौन सा टॉपिक करने वाले हैं? Prepositions. Today we will be doing prepositions. So आज की जब क्लास खत्म होगी तो आपको prepositions का टॉपिक अच्छे से समझ आएगा. आप करेक्ट prepositions यूज कर पाएंगे और आप मॉक क्वेश्चंस तो सॉल्व कर ही पाएंगे, बल्कि आपकी जो ग्रामर है, तो ग्रामर में आप करेक्ट prepositions का यूज कर पाएंगे. राइट, सो शुरू करते हैं हम आज की क्लास. तो आज का जो हमारा प्रेजेंटेशन है वो कैसे चलेगा कि सबसे पहले हम पढ़ेंगे अपना इंट्रोडक्शन कि prepositions क्या होती हैं. उसके बाद हम prepositions, डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ prepositions पे डिस्कशन करेंगे. कहाँ कहाँ prepositions यूज होती हैं, कहाँ नहीं यूज होती हैं. ओके, देन हम इन सब चीजों की एग्जांपल्स करेंगे. फिर हम अपना एंड में जाके क्विज करेंगे. ऑलराइट, these will be the mock questions. So let's start with our first part, which is introduction. First question that comes to our mind is, what are prepositions? Let's answer that first. So, इसके हिसाब से हमारी जो prepositions की definition आई वो है, यहाँ पे मीनिंग है, a preposition is a word which is used to show direction, location, time, to introduce an object, relates a noun, pronoun or noun phrase to other part of the sentence. Now, as I told you कि जो words थे वो connect कर रहे थे, right? So they are relating what? Relating either a noun or a pronoun or noun phrase to the other part of the sentence. ठीक है, and action क्या कर रहे हैं? They are showing either direction or the location or the time or introducing an object. ठीक है. So अब इसके हम examples देखेंगे and तब ये meaning आपको और clear होगा. Okay. So, prepositions क्या हैं? They are usually followed by a noun or but sometime pronoun or gerund also. Gerund क्या होता है? ing form of a verb. ये हम verbs में सीखेंगे. ठीक है, so noun या noun phrase, sometimes pronoun as well, या फिर gerund also. And the second rule is that if a sentence begins or ends with the preposition, it should be closely linked to another word. जैसे, अगर whom did you speak to? Now this is ending in a preposition, right? So it will be closely linked to another word. Another word it will be linked to speak. When you speak to somebody, right? इस तरीके से. So now let's move on to the next slide. Right, now we start off with the punctuation. We start off with the prepositions. We'll explaining each of them. Like here we have on. When is on used? When we have to designate any days of the week in dates. Like here we are saying, I will see you on Monday. days. Okay, so this days of the week, Monday. Or suppose you have to say that I will see you on 22nd January. So that's again where we use on. Then which is used to name streets, roads, avenues, etc. Like I say, I live on 22nd Street. Okay. Then used to state surface of something. When we have to tell about something that is kept on the surface of something, stating its surface. So the books are kept on the shelf. Alright. Next up we have, like here, on is used to specify any device or a machine, like the students are working on their laptops. So what are we signifying here? We're signifying any device or machine, it's laptop. Used to specify the part of the body, any part of the body, like I'm hurt on my belly. So belly is a part of the body, so signifying it with on. Then we have used to talk about the state of something. The state of something like the house is on fire. So what's the state of the house? It is on fire. Alright, so these are the different ways in which we can use on. Once we do the mock questions, it will be clearer to you. At. Now when is at used? When it is used to specify definite time. The train will reach station at specified time. बता रहे हैं हम कि एकदम 2 बजे पहुंच जाएगी ट्रेन. फिर the next usage could be used with a particular place. Example: people gathered at the park. Particular place के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं हम, ठीक है? At the park. Here, used to point out any activity. जैसे example क्या है? I am good at dance. At. Okay, next up we have in. When is in used? Suppose we have to talk about some undefined time during a day or a month or a season or a year. Like I will see you in the morning. So this is an undefined time during the day. We're not really specifying what exact time, just saying undefined time during a day. For example, if I say, I will meet you in summer. So again, that is undefined time during a year, like, a season it is. So that's when we can use in. And otherwise, when we have to specify the name of the location or place, like any cities, the towns, the states, the countries, the continents, etc. Like if you say, my family lives in Sri Lanka. So talking about a country, used to specify any shape or color or size. Like I say, she bought dresses in 2 colors, red and black. So we're specifying colors, right? That's when we can use in. Another way where we can use in is specifying any faith, views, or interest or feelings. Like a family believes in Hinduism. That's what? That's a faith. So believes in Hinduism. Alright. We can use in for an undefined time, to name location or place, for specifying shape, color, or size, or specifying certain faith or views or interests or feelings. So the next example we have is of of. Now of is used to specify an amount or a number. For example here, I drank 3 cups. Here, I'm sorry, it should be cups because it is plural. I must have mistyped it. Okay, the typing error, I'm sorry. I drank 3 cups of coffee yesterday. Then used to specify belongingness. That bag is of my little sister. Whom does it belong to? My little sister. So belongingness. 3 cups of coffee. 3. Amount or number we're telling. So of. Next up is with. Let's see where with is used. With is used to show a feeling or an emotion. Example here is Riya acted with confidence. So how did Riya act? She acted with confidence, feeling or emotion. Then indicating usage of something. How? Cook is cutting vegetable with knife. So the knife is being used to cut the vegetables by the cook. So usage. Next could be indicate possession. People with less money are not always unhappy. So the people who have less money, the people who possess less money, here we are indicating possession. Okay. Okay, so few more uses of with, like it can be used to indicate togetherness. Where like here she is going to the market with me, with, right? So together, both of us are going to be together. Then used to show understanding. You ask, do you agree with me? So this is sort of question on understanding, whether this person understands or not. All right. Okay, next up we have over. When is overused, like to indicate something extending directly upwards from something. Like in the sense the plane flew over the building. So what is this sentence indicating? This plane is extending directly upwards from where? From the building. That's when we can use over. Next up we have used to express more than the estimated amount. Certain estimated amount, like here the price is over my expectation. So what is more than the estimated amount? The price. And which preposition are we using for it? Over. The price is over my expectation. Next up we have used to indicate a certain period of time. Like a period of time in the sense, my mom stayed with me for 2 years. So what is the period of time we are describing here? Over 2 years. Something like around 2 years. Next up we have used to show some sort of a movement. Movement in the sense like his brother came over to my place. His brother came over, coming over is like coming to visit. So this movement is movement to my place, to my house. Alright, that's when we can use over preposition to indicate something extending directly upwards from something, or to express something more than the estimated amount, or to indicate a period of time, or to show some movement. Alright. So the next example is of the preposition I. When is this used? First, it is used to talk about any means or methods. Let's see which ones. For example, we are going Delhi by airplane. By airplane. By, what is the method here? Airplane. Used to indicate closeness. Closeness. ATM is by the mall. ATM is near to the mall, so we can say by the mall. Used to tell who does something. Letter was delivered by the postman. So who did what? The postman delivered the letter. By. These are the various methods in which we can use by. Alright, so now the next preposition is into. Let's see when this preposition is used. It is used to indicate inside something. Like, he dived into the sea to save the drowning child. Into. मतलब sea के अंदर he dived inside. He dived inside the sea. So we use into. The sea to save the drowning child. Now, first usage. Second usage could be used to show change in the state. Change in the state. How? Water changed into ice on freezing. Into ice. Water is the liquid form. Alright. This changed into a solid form of ice on freezing. So, it's used to show the change in the state. Into. Next preposition is against. When is this used? It is used to show disagreement. When you don't agree with something. We should not do anything against the law. मतलब हमें लॉ के कुछ डिसएग्रीमेंट में नहीं करना चाहिए. So anything against the law. लॉ के अगेंस्ट, लॉ के डिसएग्रीमेंट में कुछ नहीं करना चाहिए. Not do. Another usage could be used to indicate something is touching something. Like Rohan is standing against the wall. Now here is wall. When a boy is, suppose he is leaning on the wall, you can say he is standing against the wall. When something is touching something, right? Next usage could be used to show prevention of something. When we are preventing something, like he is vaccinated against polio. मतलब जो vaccination है which is given to prevent the occurrence of polio. So he is vaccinated against polio. Alright? Now the next preposition is, the next preposition here is between. So where do we use between? It is used to indicate gap or space that separates two things. For example, Diya is standing between Jia and Riya. Diya, Jia, Riya. Diya जो है वो Jia और Riya के बीच में खड़ी है. Right, so gap or space that separate two things. So Diya is separating Jia and Riya. Now let's move on to the next preposition, across. When is across used? Used to show movement from one side to another or from one place to another. For example, the sailor sailed across the sea. Across the sea. Movement from one side to another or from one place to another. The sea है, okay? Although छोटी नहीं होती है sea, but this is, let's imagine this is the sea. So from this land to this land, the sailor sailed across. मतलब एक place से दूसरी place तक they sailed. Okay? Next usage could be used to indicate the opposite side of a road, river, line, etc. There is a big orchard across the river. Now this is a river and there is a big orchard. यहाँ पे there is something, suppose we say there are trees or things. So अगर ये हम यहाँ पे खड़े हैं and we are saying कि river के उस side है कुछ, okay? So there is something across the river, मतलब दूसरी place पे. Okay? So the next one could be this. Is this first? Yes. Used to point out several parts of an area. Now school has several branches across the country. मतलब पूरी country जो है, ठीक है, उसके across there are various branches of the school. So all over the country, several parts of an area. You're pointing out several parts of an area. by saying that school has several branches across the country. This is for across. Let's move on to the next preposition. So the next preposition to be understood is above. Above is used to point out higher place or position than something. Like the water in the dam rising above the marked line. For example, there is a vessel where we have the marked line in here, but the water level is rising above this marked line. So we will say the water in the dam rising above. इससे ऊपर चला गया ना? We will say it is rising above the marked line. Next could be used to indicate something is greater than something in number or level of age. मतलब अगर कोई level में, age में, number में बड़ा है, जैसे this month the onion prices are above average. जो prices होते हैं onion के average prices उससे ज़्यादा हैं इस month के onion prices. Alright, so they are more than that. Other usage could be higher quality compared to something. Example, he loves his mother above all. सबसे ज़्यादा he loves his mother. So these are the examples where you can use above. Let's move on to the next preposition. So the next preposition is behind. Let's see where we can use behind. Used to point something at or towards the back of something. मतलब किसी के पीछे अगर कुछ है. Like, who is standing behind Riya? रिया के पीछे कौन खड़ा है? Then, used to show progress, less progress. Important is less progress. Less progress or improvement compared to something or somebody. कंपेयर कर रहे हैं और हम बता रहे हैं कि इसमें लेस प्रोग्रेस या लेस इंप्रूवमेंट हुई है. जैसे द ट्रेन इज रनिंग बिहाइंड स्केड्यूल. स्केड्यूल नहीं, स्केड्यूल होगा यहाँ पे. बिहाइंड स्केड्यूल. जो स्केड्यूल था उससे पीछे चल रही है ट्रेन. ओके. नेक्स्ट कुड बी यूज्ड टू इंडिकेट सपोर्ट ऑफ समबडी. किसी का सपोर्ट. जैसे parents are behind her decisions. ठीक है? Parents are supporting her decisions. They are behind her decisions. Next two. When can we use this preposition? Used to point out the position right behind somebody, right beside somebody, besides. Diya is sitting right next to Riya. Right next to. दोनों साथ साथ बैठे हैं Diya and Riya. So Diya is sitting right next to Riya. Next, used to show order or somebody or something. Used to show order of somebody or something. Example, next to maths, my favorite subject is science. मतलब सबसे पहले मैथ्स और उसके बाद साइंस. सो नेक्स्ट टू मैथ्स. मैथ्स के बाद मेरा फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट इज साइंस. ओके. Through used to show passing of any kind of barrier. जैसे I have got through the NET exam. मतलब I have passed a certain barrier of the NET exam, so I have got through. Then used to show means, a reason of something. How? You can clear this exam only through hard work. जैसे मीन्स या रीजन कैसे कर सकते हैं आप ये एग्जाम को पास? Only through hard work. Next, use to indicate any activity from beginning to the end. शुरू से end तक जैसे Small children cannot sit through a concert. Through मतलब शुरू से end तक छोटे बच्चे कॉन्सर्ट में नहीं बैठ सकते. Right? Okay, so we have a few more uses of through. Like here, if we say when we have to talk about indicating one end or side of something or somebody to other. Like here, one has to pass through the main hall to get to the rooms. So what are we indicating? One side of something or somebody, right? We're indicating the side of what? Basically the end of this main hall that you have to pass through it to get to the rooms. Alright, another usage could be to point out something from the other side of the object or substance. Let me give an example. Like here, if I say, I could not see the outputs clearly through the glass. So here what am I saying is, I'm pointing out something from the other side of the object or substance. What is the object or substance here? Glass. And I'm not able to see the outputs on the other तमाम पांचों के बीच में ये स्वीट्स जो हैं डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हुई हम सब में. Group or mass or collection in the middle of something. Okay? Then beside. When is beside used? Used to express close to or next to. For example, Diya is standing beside me. मैं खड़ी हूँ मेरे साथ में दिया खड़ी. This is Diya. So she is standing beside me. Close to me, next to me, तो उसके लिए हम beside यूज करते हैं. Next preposition, besides. Besides, B-E-S-I-D-E-S. Earlier was beside, this one was besides. Let's see where this is used. Used to express in addition to something or apart from something. मतलब 3 girls besides Diya were playing with sand. Okay. One is Diya, but Diya के besides मतलब Diya के अलावा भी there were 3 girls who were playing with sand. So besides is used when we are expressing addition to something या apart from something. ये दिया के अलावा भी और 3 girls were there. Alright? So the next preposition is below. It is the antonym of above. So above जहाँ यूज हो रहा था उसके opposite यूज होगा below. It is used to show some kind of measurement on a scale. जैसे चिंकू is performing below average. हमने पहले किया था above average, जब prices हैं above average चल रहे हैं, पर अब below average, जब average से कम है prices या कम है यहाँ पे क्या So the next preposition is under. Let's see when under is used. It is used to indicate something exactly below it or less than something. Under मतलब जैसे यहाँ पे है pen is lying under the bed. जब bed के नीचे चला गया है pen and the pen is under the bed. So pen is lying under the bed. Right? Next preposition is in front of. When is this one used? Used to indicate position just ahead of something. Now, आपके स्कूल में chairs, tables होती हैं. You sit in lines. Tables होती हैं various. तो suppose दिया बैठी है यहाँ पे रिया बैठी है. ठीक है. Here is the teacher's blackboard. So Diya is sitting in front of Riya. Okay. दिया जो है वो रिया के just आगे position में बैठी है. So used to indicate position just ahead of something. This is when we use in front of. So now the next preposition is upon. When is this used? Formal terms of on, जहाँ हमने on use किया था उसकी जगह formally हम use करते हैं upon. Let's see how. She is wearing a red hat upon her head. Similar meanings of upon, but हम इसे formally use करते हैं. Alright? Okay, next preposition we have is of. Of is pretty easy. We'll be able to understand it very easily, even in the questions. Used to indicate any separation or disconnection. For example, if I say she turned the fan off, which means she disconnected the fan, then they went off to USA. You know, sort of a disconnection, sort of separation that, you know, they have left whatever place and they went off to USA. Right, pretty easy. Okay, next up we have this nice little category of compound prepositional phrases. What are compound prepositional phrases? These are something which act as information givers when they form prepositional phrases. Alright, they act as information givers. How are they formed? Preposition plus its object. Like here, in a prepositional phrase, the object may either be a noun or a pronoun or a gerund or a clause. And this prepositional phrase can function either as an adjective or an adverb. So what you have to remember is, and what you have to understand is, that these compound prepositional phrases, they act as information givers. And how are they formed? With the preposition plus its object. In these compound prepositional phrases, they may act as an adjective or an adverb, which we'll see in the next slides. And this object which we have here, preposition and its object. This object, it may be a noun, pronoun, or a gerund or a clause. Alright, let's see. Like here we have, let's see, I went for grocery shopping with my reusable cloth bag. Now here with is the preposition, but here my reusable cloth bag is the object. Okay, so reusable cloth bag is what? Is a noun. So my reusable cloth bag, that's a noun clause actually. Noun phrase it is. My reusable cloth bag. It involves more than 2 adjectives. Noun as well. Okay, so my reusable cloth bag is the object, which is the preposition. So this part becomes the prepositional phrase, compound prepositional phrase. These are the various examples of prepositional phrases which are formed. Like here we have because of, according to, instead of, apart from, despite of, in addition to something, due to something, result of something, causes of something, effect of, effect on, in spite of, aside from, in front of, in condition of, consequence of, on top of, in respect to, with regard to, in accordance with, in agreement with, for lack of, for want of, in case of. These are just a few examples that I have given to give you a hang of what actually compound prepositional phrases are. Alright, here we have prepositional phrases as adjectives, which means when do these prepositional phrases act as the adjectives, when do they do the job of an adjective? Now, what is the job of an adjective? To describe something, talk about their smell or taste or just the description. So let's see here. The book with the blue cover belongs to my mother. The book with the blue cover. Here the preposition is with, and then we have the blue cover. So the blue cover is the object over here, and the with the blue cover is doing what? This is doing the job of an adjective by describing what? By describing the book. Alright. Then we have all the passengers aboard the plane. Now here the preposition is aboard, and the plane is the object, which is a noun. So the object could be a noun, and a noun, pronoun, gerund, or clause. So here we have a noun, aboard the plane. And this prepositional phrase, aboard the plane, is doing what? Is doing the job of an adjective by describing what? Describing these passengers. Then again, the gift inside my room. Similar explanation, the preposition is inside. The room is the object, a noun. And then inside the room, completely together, is doing the job of an adjective by describing what? Describing the gift, the position of the gift. Alright, so that's how prepositional phrases act as adjectives. Next up, prepositional phrases could also act as adverbs. Now, what is the job of the adverb? It is used to answer the questions of like how, when, where, and how often, or to what extent. these kind of questions are answered by adverbs. So let's see here. The tiger crept over the plains. Now the tiger is subject, crept is the verb, and over the plains is the prepositional phrase, in which over is the preposition and the plains is the object, and this together, the word over the plains, the one which is in bold, over the plains is the prepositional phrase acting as an adverb. Acting as an adverb how? Because it is answering the question of where. Then we will order pizza sometime during the next week. Here we have during as the preposition and the next week is the object. So this prepositional phrase together, during the next week, is answering the question of what? Answering the question of when. Alright. Next up we have, I will climb up the stairs and get your bag. Up the stairs. Now up is the preposition, the stairs is the object, and these together they form a prepositional phrase which is acting like an adverb. And why an adverb? Because it is doing the job of answering the question of where. I will climb up the stairs. You will climb where? Up the stairs. Okay. So that's how prepositional phrases act like adjectives and as adverbs as well. Okay. Alright, so for the quiz, what we will be doing is, now every question you will be given 1 minute. 1 minute means 60 seconds. Why am I giving you 1 minute? Because you see, your question paper of IEO, it has about 50 questions, and so you can imagine that you get more or less a minute to answer the questions. Now this 1 minute is the maximum that you should be taking for answering the question. Now suppose there could be two, three categories of students. First category is, suppose you answer the question within that 1 minute. So I would request you to fast forward the video and skip right to the answer. You should not be wasting your time. Alright. Now the other students who are not able to answer the question in 1 minute, what you do, you don't skip to the answer. You pause the video and you write down your answer. Alright, it is very important to answer each and every question because there is no negative marking. Here you see, for every incorrect answer, no points, because there is no negative marking in IEO, so it is important that you attempt all the questions. Now for a question of which you are not sure about the answer, now even here and even in the exam, if you are not sure about the answer and you maybe think that B option might be correct or C option might be correct, so you should in that case play your luck and play your mind and make a guess and still give an answer, because it is a win-win situation. Either you will get the marks for that question or you will get a 0, right? But if you don't attempt that question at all, then you are anyway getting a 0 in that, right? So it is good to attempt those questions, and even if you don't know all the answers, try to understand and take a guess. Okay, so this is for every correct answer 10 points. This is just for your own little game where you can try to maintain a notepad. So here you write the name of the chapter and then the question, and then if it is correct you can give yourself 10 points. If it is not correct, you mark it here. So it is important to see these questions. The ones which you mark incorrect, it is important to go back to them later and then see where you did the mistake. Alright, this is just for your reference. For every correct answer, you can give yourself 10 points. Alright, now let's start. So your time starts now. Alright, so now we start off the questions on prepositions. This one says, fill in the blanks with the most appropriate preposition. My brother doesn't always agree dash me, after me, to me, with me, at me. Remember, we use with for agreement. My brother doesn't always agree with me. Okay, then we have after, talking about a certain something that happens next. To is used to show movement. At is used to tell about certain specific time or place. So your time starts now. Next up, we have the patients in the hospital are looked dash by the nurses. So the patients in the hospital are looked after by the nurses, at by the nurses, looked to by the nurses, or looked into by the nurses. So here the correct answer is that the patients in the hospital, they are looked after by the nurses. Looking after someone, like taking care of someone. It's looking after. Okay. So your time starts now. So here it says, keep away dash the fire. On the fire, off the fire, to the fire, or from the fire. So here the correct answer is keep away from the fire. Like from, talking about a certain source. Keeping away from which source? Keeping away from the fire. So your time starts now. Here we have my elder brother always stands dash for me. Stands up for me, stands on for me, stands down for me, or stands off for me. So here the correct answer is my elder brother always stands up for me. Standing up for someone, taking a stand for them means supporting them and their views, defending them sort of thing. So stand up for me. This is a phrasal verb. Standing up for someone. Okay. So your time starts now. Here we have aim carefully dash the target. At the target, in the target, on the target or into the target. Here the correct answer is aim carefully at the target. At the target, talking about a specific place or time. That's why when we use at, so aim carefully at the target. Then in is used to talk about certain undefined time, duration, or specific some place. On talk about the surface of something or a specific date. Into talking about inside of something. So your time starts now. Here we have it's no good running away dash your responsibilities. With your responsibilities, from your responsibilities, of your responsibilities, or to your responsibilities. It's no good running away from your responsibilities. From your responsibilities. What is the source that the person is running away from? The responsibilities. Others with used to talk about certain agreement or indicate togetherness. Of talk about belongingness, to talk about movement. So your time starts now. Okay, here we have were you always fond dash reading science fiction. Fond with reading, fond of reading, fond to reading, or fond on reading. So here the correct answer is were you always fond of reading science fiction. Okay, of reading. Others with is used to talk about agreement or togetherness, to talk about movement, on talk about the surface of something, specific date or day. Alright, here of we're talking about certain belongingness, fond of what? Fond of reading science fiction. So your time starts now. Here we have if my car breaks dash, I'll call the mechanic. My car breaks on, breaks up, breaks off, or breaks down. Now for a machine, car is a machine, so for that we can use break down. My car breaks down. Here for prepositions you have to be aware about certain phrasal verbs as well. So we have if my car breaks down, I'll call the mechanic. So your time starts now. Here we have do you believe dash rebirth. In rebirth, up rebirth, out rebirth, or down rebirth. Pretty easy. Do you believe in rebirth? We talk about certain beliefs and faith and views. So we use in. So do you believe in rebirth? Okay. Business is bad, we have to lay dash 30 workers. Lay off, lay with, or lay on. Okay, here the correct answer is we have to lay off 30 workers. Laying off is, sort of firing these workers, letting them go, laying these workers off. Off talking about certain separation of something. Off is then used. So here lay off is a phrasal verb. Laying people off, that is firing them. Okay. Okay, here Mona refused dash come to the theatre alone. Refused of come, refused with come, refused on come, or refused to come. Correct answer is refused to come. Here you see we are referring to an infinitive. Infinitive to plus the verb. So refused to come to the theatre alone. Alright. Correct answer is D. So your Okay, here we have a small kitchen garden dash the back of our house. At the back of our house, in the back of our house, on the back of our house, or off the back of our house. So here the correct answer is we have a small kitchen garden at the back of our house. Talking about a specific location, right? At the back. In, talk about an undefined time or a place. On, talk about the surface of something. Off, talk about certain belongingness. Okay. Rima has learned this chapter word dash word, word to word, word by word, word of word, or word with word. Here the correct answer is Rima has learned this chapter word by word. Word by word, sort of it's a phrase word by word which refers to learning something like with full heart and knowing everything. That's word by word. Okay. Alright. So with this we finish off the questions on prepositions.
That's all for our class in prepositions. I hope you have understood what prepositions really are, when to use which sort of preposition, and if you made any mistakes in the questions that we discussed, make sure you rectify them and don't, you make sure you rectify so that you do not repeat that mistake again. So I will see you the next time. Till then, keep revising and keep learning. Thank you.